Hey friends, August 6th, we are in the house. Hey, this is a good day. We've got some clouds. It might rain. If not, it's not going to be 100. It's only going to be 97, 98. That's called a Texas cold front. But no, a couple of things we're doing here I'm really excited about. So here in Texas, we plant our onions around the end of December. It's kind of early for those of you up north, but that's how we do it here. And then we'll harvest April. We had a good crop this year. I mean, we harvested probably 350, 375. Mostly the Texas Legend yellow onions. Now we hang them in the mudroom, and I'll go ahead and take you guys in there here in a little bit, kind of show you the setup. And they're good. You know, they can last all the way up here September. Some years when it wasn't so hot, maybe October. But we're coming down to where we're sorting the onions, we're going through them, and some of them are starting to soften. Now this year we chose to do these nylon bags. You know, it did okay. We used to braid them and string them up to where they were totally exposed. I'm kind of thinking I might do that again next year because they lasted longer. This is more convenient. I think the secret to this is to not overpack them. If there's so much weight on here, they really push down on the onions and you'll start to get some rotting onions in the bottom. So today we're gonna take those onions, I've already started this week, but we're gonna add to it, and we're gonna caramelize them. I love caramelized onions, and I'll show you my method of doing it. And then we're gonna pressure can them. We're also gonna start a small batch of sauerkraut. So we're gonna do some fermenting. Let's get cooking. Okay guys, this is our mudroom. It's kind of a small attachment to what used to be a garage. We really don't need garages here. But all along the shelving is where we hang our onions. I have a sun barrier material here, and this is where we'll keep a lot of the onions. We're getting kind of low, which is fine. We had a great harvest this year. So I'm gonna take some of these onions that are kind of going soft, and we're gonna caramelize them. Yeah, so this week during work, in between breaks and whatnot, it's just been crazy. Rochelle and I have been working. In fact, she's working right now. She's an angel. Rochelle is a licensed professional that helps us veterans and their families. So she will work on the weekends sometimes because she just gets a heavy caseload. So she just wanted me to tell you guys hello. But no, we had a great harvest. Some of them large, some of them medium, some smaller ones. So these are starting to kind of, you could kind of smell them getting a little strong. So before they do that, we're going to go ahead and process them. Another thing that we've done as well too is we have diced some of them up and we've vac packed them and freezed them. So that's a nice thing to do as well too. You know, you can, in the winter, you can throw a vac pack cup of diced onions for a soup or something like that. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and slice these up. We'll get them caramelized and we'll get busy. Yeah, it's actually turning out to be a really nice weekend. It is cooling down a little bit. We're still in a major drought. However, the temperatures are actually gonna normalize. So we're looking at upper 90s to mid 90s. There's a scattered chance of rain now and then. But I think the switch has been switched. The oven is off, and I think Texas is gonna be starting to get back to normal, starting to get some rain. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut these onions. When I was a chef, I used to teach my cooks how to cut onions. I know it's very, very basic. All of you guys probably know how to cut an onion, but I can kind of show you how I used to teach them. Now this is what we call a Mirepoix bowl, or catch bowl. What is Mirepoix? Well, Mirepoix is celery, onion, and carrot. You don't want to waste that. That makes an amazing stock. Well, the Trinity is onion, carrot, and bell pepper. That's what they do in New Orleans. So here's the onion. I always tell people, slice off the North Pole, the South Pole. Now you can set it flat. Remember, put your onion scrapes in the Mirepoix bowl, or the catch bowl, right down the center. Now you want to try obviously to get as much of that, you want to keep as much of this onion as you can, but you know what, you're going to have to take a layer off. so you don't get into that papery part of the onion that doesn't really cook. I like to prep my onions. I call it the soldier effect, where you lay everything out, keeping the cutting board clean, and that's how I process onions. And then I'll take them and I'll just do a thick, coarse slice. I want that onion to have body because it's going to be cooking. And it's going to be pressure cooking as well too. All right, let's get going. Another little garden update, and I'll take you guys out there later as well too. You know, we still have about a good, let's see, it's August. We have August, September, and October. We went ahead and replanted some cucumber, some pickling cucumber. We planted some Asian long beans and some Kentucky Wonder beans. We have plenty of fence line to do that. If we can get a harvest before we start planting our snow peas, we're not going to fill the fence up with snow peas. Those suckers, man, they'll really get up there. You see that part right there that has that black? It's kind of like a mold. You want to get rid of that. But hey, you know what? If we can get some cucumbers here, then that'll be great. And then we'll start planting the fall garden. The best butter in the world, Kerrygold, unsalted. You can add your own salt. This is the best. Now, speaking of butter, guys, you can make your own butter. I should do a video on that. Just whipping up heavy cream until you get a butter consistency, and then you'll have buttermilk. So we're going to put these onions. I like to do a coated cast iron pan. This one's made in America, I know that for sure. And it works really well. Okay guys, we're gonna generous amount of salt. Stir it around. We'll put that lid on, we'll turn it down low, and we're gonna go low and slow. Remember, low and slow. If it takes an hour or 2 hours, low and slow. You do not want to burn the onions, you want to caramelize them. Okay, let's talk sauerkraut fermentation. One of my favorite things. I love sauerkraut. Couple different vessels that you can do this in, and I will talk the formula as far as the ratios between water and salt. You want to use spring water. If you have a well, even better. We're on municipal water, so I'm not using that. So we buy spring water. Couple of different containers you can use if you're doing a really large batch. I like this Sauerkraut by Humble House. It's pretty nice. They come in all different sizes. This is one of the smaller ones. The nice thing about this is it does come with the weights, the coated ceramic weights, so you can push down the vegetables below the brine. That's what you want. Comes with a nice little lid. You can put everything in there, and it still allows for breathing. So this is nice. You can get that on, I don't know, any website, 50, 60 bucks, or we'll use a half-gallon jar. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I like to do that because I can kind of see what's going on. I can see the bubble action. We do have a glass weight that I'll show you how we do that. Now, it depends, your cabbage, it depends on how fine you like it. Some people like it ultra fine, some people like it really coarse. I like it just kind of in the middle. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna cut up the cabbage, and then I'll talk about salt ratios to water ratios. So first thing I'm gonna do is just cut the core down. And then I'm gonna cut the cabbage in half. Now, if you don't have a glass weight, a lot of people will take the outer leaf, and they'll use that to push it down, for example, to push it down in the jar to keep the vegetables below the brine. You can do that as well too. That's real old school. I just have this. I like the tools that you can use. So I'm going to cut out the core. I like to go ahead and cut it in half again. Just going to set those aside. Again, cut the core. And compost it. Feed it to your chickens. We don't have chickens, guys. Don't want chickens. I'm sure we've talked about it before. We travel a lot and I don't want to deal with it. And we have friends that have, what, 100, 200 chickens, and we trade eggs and we process the meat with them once a year. So I'm not going to go ultra thin. I like some texture. So I'm just going to go ahead and do strips like this. That's just perfect. I want some substance when I bite into it. So we're going to go ahead and cut away. We'll fill the bowl and we'll kind of take it from there. Okay guys, let's talk salt. The rule of thumb is, let's just be simple. For a medium head of cabbage, 1 to 3 tablespoons of salt. For a quart of water, 1 tablespoon of salt for the brine. So that's what I'm gonna do, because I like to keep the brine on me. I keep it around the house. You can put it in the fridge, it'll last. Kosher salt, sea salt. Do not use the table salt with iodine. Just don't do it. It's not going to work. So a nice tablespoon of salt to the quart, and I'm going to go ahead and use 2 tablespoons to start working the cabbage, and then we're going to massage that in. Remember, you can taste. Once we start massaging this in, you'll see it's going to break down. We're going to taste. If you want to add a little more salt, you can. So I think 2 is going to be a good start. And then we'll start working this in, and I'll go ahead and mix this. If we had good weather and our garden had produced, but that's okay. God's got us provided here come this fall. I definitely have faith in that. We're going to go ahead and we're going to ferment a lot of mixed vegetables, peppers, carrots, all kinds of different varieties. We may go do some hot peppers. I've done some fermented hot sauce as well too. I'm going to do another hot sauce as well. and I'm going to use Scotch bonnets. So that's going to be interesting. So let's go ahead and start massaging this. Okay, we're going to work that in with our hands, guys. That salt is going to start pulling the moisture out of that cabbage. It's going to shrink everything down. We're going to have a lot of moisture, and that is going to be our brine. Plus we have extra brine too over here on the side. So we're going to work on this. I'm going to probably do this for about the next 5-10 minutes, and then we'll show you what it's going to look like. Okay, the cabbage is where we want it, so it has broken down, and you can see that there's some liquid. Perfect. Now I like a little bit of dill in my sauerkraut, so I'm going to put just a hint, not too much. We don't have any fresh dill because everything in Texas is dead. But it's coming back. So a little dry dill, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to bottle it, and I'll show you what we're going to do with this extra brine. All right, we're going to go ahead and put the cabbage in, and then we're going to pack it down. I have a muddler. I'll have to get my muddler. But we'll go ahead and start working on this right here. I just use the funnel so it doesn't make a mess. I went ahead and ordered these really nice rubber bar mats. Just kind of keeps everything clean, and its stuff doesn't slide. I really like them. They came out really well. I'll see if I can put a link in the comments below. Let's go ahead and pack this jar as much as we can. All right, guys, we're packing it in. All of this should fit. I'm just going to use a wood spoon. Pack it in there really good. Get it down in there. Continue to release those liquids, that brine. And remember, if we need more brine, we have it. If we don't use that brine, it's going in the fridge. It's good for several weeks. It's just salt water. And we'll use it to ferment other vegetables. And just continue the process. Let's talk about length of time to ferment. You know, it just depends on the taste. I usually go about 10 days. I have gone more than 10 days. So a couple of weeks. Some people like 3-4 weeks. I mean, that's really sour for Rochelle and I. So, you know, 10 days, 10 to 14 days for us is what we like. It's our sweet spot. But we'll just keep going through here, and I'll show you. We'll just set it in the pub room at room temperature. Stays nice and cool in there, and it'll continue to do its job over the next 10 to 14 days. Get a close-up look here. See that liquid coming to the top? That's what we want. Remember, all that is just salt breaking down the cabbage and all those liquids. You can see those little bits of dill. I just like that flavor profile. You don't have to. Now you can change it up, and you can put Korean chili paste. You can put onions, chives, and you can do a kimchi. We've done that before as well too. I'm gonna push this down, get my hand out of the way here. That's looking really good, guys. Okay. I'm happy with that. Now we'll go ahead and top it off with the brine. Little sneak peek of the caramelized onions. They've been going about an hour now in between me filming the sauerkraut. They're looking good. I want to go a little bit further. Now, I did add about 2 to 3 tablespoons of brown sugar. I like to do that. And I did add a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce and a teaspoon of soy, because I want some of that flavor to enhance the caramelization of the onion. You don't have to. Okay, it's looking really nice. Keep packing it down. Now I decided to go ahead and save those leaves. And I'm going to go ahead and top off with some brine. And I'm going to take these nice leaves from the outer, and I'm going to press them in there. There we go. Just to kind of hold that cabbage down around the edges, nice and easy. We just don't want any floaters on the top, and it's okay if you see a floater. You know what? You can just pick it out. Just want everything submerged in the liquid. There we go. There we go. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and put that weight in there. I'm gonna just sit down in there, hold everything down. See that little floaty right there? We'll just pull that out. That little dill floating, it's not gonna hurt anything. All right. Very excited. About 10 to 12 days. We're gonna go ahead and pull it out. And then we'll probably go ahead and just put this jar in the fridge, and we'll just eat it as we go. Isn't that beautiful? Fermentation, guys, it's so good for you. It is good for your intestinal tract. It's healthy. People say that it helps ward off carcinogens, cancer and things. So don't be afraid to ferment. Hey, it's trial and error. Taste it, try it. Maybe go 5 days, maybe go 10 days. Whatever your taste is, simple. Salt, water. Just make sure you do the measurements. I will put a little measurement chart in the comments below. Some people like it a little saltier, some people don't like it as salty. You can ferment all kinds of different vegetables. And we are going to be doing a fermented hot sauce, and I'll show you. I've been promising you guys that, but I'll show you that here. And I'll put the link to these really nice rubber mats down below as well too. I hope you guys enjoyed just a quick little video. The onions are going to keep going. They're almost done. We're going to go ahead and let them cook for another 30, 40, maybe an hour long. I like to go low and slow. We're going to pressure can them. We've got our 1/2 pint jars clean and set up over here. Just no sense in filming that. We're gonna can them. I'll take pictures and put it on our community link. 40 minutes at 10 pounds pressure. Humble Servants Homestead. We got your Scotchies. So we follow another channel, a wonderful couple in Georgia that really know how to grow Scotch bonnets. Let me tell you what, I'm excited about this. So we ordered a small batch from them. We took some of the peppers, the really good Scotch bonnets, and we're saving the seeds. I dried them out, we're ready to start them sometime late winter for the spring, and we're gonna grow hopefully a good maybe 6 plants, because I really like Scotch bonnets. We're gonna make a hot sauce as well too. Michelle and I had been to Jamaica a couple times. We've been to St. Lucia. We just love that flavor of that hot sauce. It is hot, but it does have some flavor. We're gonna incorporate onions, garlic, and I think we're gonna ferment it as well too. And I believe I would like to try some pineapple juice and Scotch bonnet. So we're gonna play with that. So hey, thanks for watching. We're gonna get rain. Those of you that are not getting rain, keep praying. It's gonna happen, and God bless. Take care, folks.